So I just heard that Lizzie's really mean to you.
Fucking bitch. I mean, someone has to tell the truth. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, my own video. I'm excited to race again.
So first of all, you ruined our video because you didn't actually restart your season at the Vuelta. You did Flèche and Liège.
Yeah. I think the shift was actually leaving the kids earlier than I had planned to. Like, just things like, you know, leaving Shay before he was sleeping through the night, stuff like that. I'd got, you know, the control freak in me was kind of wanting all those things to be set in stone before I left. But turns out he slept through the night the day I left. So he knew the plan. What's up, man? No, I mean, training-wise, I wasn't ready, but I knew that I was planning to suffer in training. I was planning to increase the intensity, and it just meant that I had to increase that intensity in a very public way off the back in La Redoute, on La Redoute. But no, I was happy to do the job. Like, I knew the main thing for me was that I wasn't just going to go to the Ardennes and get dropped, that I could have an impact on the race and do something. And I knew very early on that my job would be just shepherding Gaia around the peloton, and I did that, and I felt like I had an impact on the end result, so that was good.
I think she brings our best selves out. She really kind of likes to learn about her teammates and learn the things that you wouldn't necessarily know about each other. And I think that really unites us as a team, because you know all the small things that can help you understand why each person is doing a certain thing each way. So I think that's a really cool thing that she does for us.
Yeah, I think Lizzie's someone I've always ridden alongside. Like, we raced together at Junior Worlds. We were reminiscing about that in Austria in 2005, I think it was. So we have a long history riding together in the bunch, not in the same team. But I know when I joined Trek, everyone was saying, oh, we can't wait for Lizzie to come back. She's such a good person in the team. We can't wait for her to come back. And then when she came back at Flèche, I was really, really excited to finally have her in the team. And I was just really, really looking forward to racing alongside her in terms of her leadership and captaincy. And I know she's such a tactically good rider, but just having her amongst the group again, she's someone that's really funny off the bike and laid back. And I think she really relaxes the whole group and brings out the best in the riders. And just seeing already in the races what she's been able to do, you can see that she just knows what she's doing in the bunch. She knows how to lead the team as well. So I think just all of those qualities really contribute so much to the team environment.
Yeah, just into a family of four has been fun. It wasn't actually as hard as I expected, for different reasons. I think the adjustment from having no children to one was a much bigger kind of shock for us. But our lifestyle is a family lifestyle, so Shay has slotted in quite nicely. I think in the first few weeks of a newborn's life, it's just really intense and it's very emotional, because it's just relentless and really non-stop. And you kind of think, oh my goodness, when are we ever going to get through this? And you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You forget that, you know, the feeding's spread out and the sleep gets longer, and it just gets easier naturally, and you don't have to be in control of that. And I think I forgot that it would happen with my control or not. You know, life just gets easier. It's a really nice process to get fit again, because once you're at a certain level, you're looking for percentages. And now I'm kind of making these massive jumps every week. And yeah, every time I get on my bike, I feel stronger. And you don't feel like that for a lot of the time when you're a professional athlete. So training is really interesting this time around. So my pregnancy with Shay was much harder, just more fatigue. I gained more weight, things like that. The fourth trimester of Shay's, so the third trimester was very difficult, but then his newborn phase was much easier than the newborn phase with Ola. I was getting more sleep, things like that. So comparing is really different. I mean, I did a fitness test on exactly the same day postpartum from Shay as Orla, because they share the same birthday pretty much. And I was 10 watts better than I was postpartum with Orla, which was a real surprise for me. I didn't expect that. But what I've realised is kind of the engine is the same. My lungs and my heart are really strong. It's my body, like muscular wise, that's different. Particularly with Shay, the bump was much bigger. So I was pedaling like this. So I lost a lot of the quadricep muscles on the inside of my legs, things like that. Just small differences that make a big difference. I'm having to work a lot harder on my core stability this time around. Trying to replicate racing in training is impossible. Yeah, I can do motor pacing, but I'm not braking and accelerating hundreds of times. So I need to kind of get that stimulus as quickly as possible in a condensed period of time. And to me, a stage race is the perfect place to do it. I go away for 7 days and I get probably thousands of accelerations in the legs compared to starting with the classics, which is potentially 3 days travel for 1 day race. You know, it mucks up your training a little bit. And as I'm not there to win, I'm there to try and improve my performance. I want to make it as efficient as possible.
Yeah, she's been shepherding Gaia around the bunch, so I think just sort of learning or showing by example, I think, has been a lot of what the younger riders can get out of Lizzie, but also in team meetings afterwards, really giving good feedback, asking for feedback herself. I think that's always a sign of a good leader when they can give feedback, but they can also receive feedback as well. And she's not the sort of rider that's saying, I'm Lizzie and I deserve this. It's like, I'm Lizzie, I'm here, I'm your teammate. There's no hierarchy here and we're all working together as a team.
Okay, what's third on the stage?
The weirdest thing is that if I look at my life before, as an athlete, before I had kids, I was winning a lot more bike races. But it was relief when I won them. And now when I win a bike race, it's absolute pure joy and elation because I have this life outside of cycling that gives me so much fulfillment and so much love. And obviously it's a balancing act and it's difficult and I'm fatigued a lot of the time. At the end of the day, there is literally nothing left. I've given everything I can to my kids and to my job. But I mean, things like Paris-Roubaix, the victory there, I owe it to Orla because if I'd not had Orla, I would not be doing cycling anymore. I would have quit. It was too overwhelming. It was too all-consuming, too intense, and I couldn't maintain that anymore. And I think as athletes, we're kind of under this pressure that more is better all the time. You have to be on your limits at all times. And actually, that's not sustainable or healthy. And I chose to try and build a life alongside my career, and it's the best decision I've ever made. Sometimes I almost feel like, well, it's almost like imposter syndrome. Like, well, does cycling not mean enough to me? Should it mean more? But it never has. Like, I love my job and I love cycling, but I need more than just cycling. I do need things going on outside of it. And like I say, it's given me longevity in the sport because I do have that. You know, me and my husband decided to start a family not to prove any points or break any boundaries or all that stuff, but it's a byproduct of being one of the first people in cycling to do it. And yeah, I'm all right with it. I mean, it's weird to think that I'm an expert because, you know, I'm still Googling everything. Still Googling, you know, how to train alongside kids, how to bring up children, you know, is Shay doing the right things, all the right milestones? You know, I'm no expert, like literally, but I've ended up in this position. And I'm always happy to like be a spokesperson or to talk about injustices or inequalities. And, you know, I think we've come a long way from my first pregnancy in the sport. And I hope I've had a bit to do with that.
I think your next race is Pride London. And then you're on to kind of run up to potentially Tour France.
Is it potential? I thought it was
I don't
it.
think it's potentially.
Ooh, exclusive.
I think it is a tour. I'm just I'm so used to seeing potential.
She's not that happy with my performance, is she?
Yeah.
Pure master power. Power.
I think I have to be realistic with my expectations. Obviously, I always want more, which means that I've made the right decision to make a comeback again because I still want more. So that's reassuring. And yeah, pretty happy. Yeah,
Exciting.
yeah. I'm still at the sharp end of the bike race. I'm still at the sharp end, and that's what counts. A lot of my interview questions are about balancing motherhood and having a cycling career. The fact that those questions are directed at me but not to my teammate Bauke, who has 3 children at home, suggests that society still thinks that the majority of childcare is on the mother's shoulders. And I'm very lucky and proud of my husband that we're a team. And it's never been that way for him. And as I'm sure it's not for a lot of men and a lot of my teammates, but there's still this underlying assumption that the balance lays on my shoulders rather than his. And it never has. We've been a team from day one. And yeah, he's a brilliant dad, brilliant husband, brilliant coach. I'm very lucky.
I mean, go right in, look.
You never have to question what's going on because whether it's Ina or Lizzie, something will be made and she will tell you what she wants. And I think that's also a really good quality to have. And it's something that I've learned a lot from her in the races that I've done with her, that, there's no faffing about and everyone does the job and hopefully a result comes out of it. But, yeah, she's a unique rider to have as a teammate, but yeah, it's a good thing. She makes us feel really confident in ourselves as riders and that we can do the job that we're being asked to do, whether that's to win or to lead into the bottom of a climb, do a lead out for a sprint. I think she makes you really feel like you can do it, you should be there, and you have every reason to be doing what you're doing. And that's something that I carry with me every day. And I think I would like to teach other young riders in the sport that when I'm a bit older in the sport one day. And yeah, I think that's a really important thing as well.
I also just wanted to mention, it's my first time riding with a lot of you this year, and I think it's really impressive the way that everyone rides together, and also how strong the workers are in this team compared to the other teams. It's really impressive, and I think there will come a time in the season where you're in a breakaway, right? And you have an opportunity to win a race, and you might look around and see girls and think, fuck, I can't be with these girls, because you never get the opportunity to really see your own limits in a race like this, because you're always giving everything to everybody else. Just if that situation happens this season, believe in yourself, because you are so strong. Like what you've been able to do this race compared to the girls who are just following, it's really impressive. So have some confidence.
Good job.
Thank you.
Hello.